All right, we're ready to go here. We're not quite a complete product today, but we're gonna, obviously got meetings and practice. So excited about the group that we've signed. You guys have got the list there. I think certainly when you accomplish something this significant, I think it's a group effort, very much a team effort. I think my years in this profession, I can tell you, you don't have success evaluating and recruiting unless you've got great team work. I think we've had great communication, great dialogue, a lot of guys, selfless approach. I think sometimes there's pressure out there. You can get a little too subjective. I think we've got a lot of objective of people that want to do what's best for the team. So we've got great information. I think we did a really good job evaluating in this class. And then once they declared, all right, hey, this is a guy we want to go get, I thought the guys worked really, really hard. We did a good job recruiting, but it takes a lot of people. Certainly we're thankful for our administration and all the things that they've done to improve our product that we've sold all across this area, and then certainly the support people, operations. Troy Wingutter, all the little things that he does. Jacob LaFrance is our director of player personnel. Katie Turner is our director of on-campus recruiting. Andrew Burkett is our director of research and evaluation. We've got lots of people that work really, really hard. And then, once we get them on campus, there's so many people in our community and certainly in our university that contribute to presenting our product to these families. So a great team effort. I thought we met some needs. There were some specific things that we wanted to go get, and we've done that. And the good thing here is we've got a couple spots left, which was the plan, and we'll be able to evaluate not only what's left, probably 10% of the players out there that don't sign, but also the transfer portal has become a little bit like NFL free agency. So there'll be some opportunities to add some more players to the team. This group is not going to be as big as last year's group, certainly because we are trying to catch up here and get a full 85. So we used some of the initials for this year last year, and we're going to try to eventually get away from that. But, it's a great group, and we'll sign more, and certainly we'll have a great program and presentation for you guys in February.
I don't know if pressure is the right word, but how much more was on you because this is your first true full class?
Well, I think last year maybe probably be the best example of our first true full class. This is our third go-round, I guess is what I would say. Second full go-round with this group. But, I think that we executed our plan better than we have at any point so far. I think we continue to get better. Didn't have a lot of attrition on our staff, not just the 10 full-timers, but, the second-level people. We were able to keep a lot of those guys intact. Jacob LaFrance was with us for his first full year. He did a great job kind of managing that transition. We've got other people. Nick McDonald is our assistant director of player personnel who helped with that transition, did a really good job. So lots of people involved outside of myself and the 10 assistants. But no, I think we executed our plan really well. The inside-out approach, the 6.5-hour radius to go along with the junior colleges. A lot of good ones in this group.
So those guys last year, were you evaluating all of those guys from the get-goes, or were some of those that were ones that the program already had been evaluating even before you guys got here?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you get that far ahead at this stage. A lot of the guys we signed last year, we began those relationships. That first half class that we signed, a lot of those guys were, really good players and guys that we kept. And certainly a lot of those guys have played really well for us. So, I think we could, each year is a little different depending on how many initials you got, how many scholarships you got to give relative to the 85. So there's lots going on here in terms of the numbers game.
Is there still a chance you would sign somebody else this afternoon?
Sure, yeah, there definitely will be. We just can't comment on them until that NLI comes in officially.
And if you get one more, then you still have two.
Yeah, there's lots of things that go into that, but we'll have a handful of initials left. You know, we're gonna go sign some more players, and there's lots of ways to do that, right? You know, you're the 10% of junior college and high school players that are left. You know, we'll put that group together, reevaluate that entire group, and then we'll work hard on evaluating the transfer portal. I think it's a good thing because, you know, it gives you a chance to evaluate your roster, you know, and kind of see where you're at. Once we kind of get through exit meetings and that type of stuff, who's leaving, who's going, which it'll be a positive.
Not to get too bogged down on this, but you only anticipate one more this afternoon, and then could there be one additional one before Friday, or do you not anticipate a?
Right now, you know, there's one up in the air right now, you know, and then, you know, anything can happen. You know, I mean, there's certainly dialogue going on with lots of players. You know, you're talking about. I've evaluated over 800 kids in this class alone. You know, so there's a lot of stuff going on. You know, but I think for us, you know, we got one more out there we want to get, and certainly, you know, we got a couple initials in our back pocket that we can use to kind of, what do we need? You know, what do we have left to do here?
How worried did you get on Amos, and was he the one that you were most worried about?
You know, Trey, you know, I think that's a great example of a guy that we were right on it. You know, I think Trey is a high school quarterback that projects as a corner for us and returner type guy. But you know, he's kind of like, you know, Peter LeBlanc was at the same school, only had a handful of opportunities. We kind of see Trey the same way. He's a basketball player. He's a track athlete. I think when he puts his singular focus on football, he'll really develop quickly. And that's the kind of guys that you're looking for, ones that maybe are getting a little overlooked. I think he'll prove to be a really good evaluation. But yeah, I mean, we had a number of those last year and certainly this year as well, where we went toe-to-toe with some Power Fives and were able to withstand that.
How many quarterbacks do you have that? How many that played quarterback this past season that are not quarterbacks? I know you got Rogers and
Yeah, you know,
a couple more, I think, right?
yeah, Caleb Anderson, Trey Amos, Errol Rogers, those guys, you know, all which, you know, Errol's going to play receiver. He has played receiver as well. And then, you know, Caleb plays defense, but we originally evaluated him. He was just a wildcat, you know, just kind of a quarterback guy running around out there. So that's another good one there, you know. Virginia, Miami, Utah. I mean, you know, I think he was a really good evaluation. Tremendous family. Dad's a coach, you know, 6'2", 190 pounds. Those are accurate numbers. All these numbers you see here, that's exactly how big they are. So
Now, is he a cornerback?
he's going to start as a corner, yeah.
Everyone on this list comes from a border state. Is that happenstance or is that the goal?
You know, I think it's a product of the way we're evaluating. You know, we basically divide up 6.5 hours away, and all junior colleges across the country. You know, amongst 8 evaluators, everybody has the same amount of player production, and then, you know, we kind of go from there. But I think because of the exposures that we had with all these guys, multiple opportunities to be face-to-face with them, watch them live, whether that's a basketball game. I remember this time last year we went and watched Trey Amos play basketball. You know, that's when we decided, all right, we're going to offer him a scholarship. So, you know, I think because they're closer by, you get more opportunities to evaluate and really recruit them as well. They get here more often. You know, in my opinion, they're going to play a little harder for you. You know, I mean, when Kyron Lacey goes home to Thibodeau, you know, if the Cajuns are doing really, really well, he's going to have tremendous pride, you know, about that. And then if we're not doing well, he's got to live with that, you know. So same can be said for him as an individual player, right? The team and the individual accomplishments. So that's the plan, and I think we've executed it pretty well.
What was the situation, maybe all season, and I could be wrong, did he only play in 3 games? And then what was the situation in the last week with saying that his recruitment was 100% back open, but then getting him back in the fold with Pope?
Played in 3 games.
How many games did he play all season?
Yeah, he played the whole year.
What
He is,
about in
and
the last week?
I mean, I think like a lot of young men this time of year, there was some indecision about what he wanted to do. You know, I mean, I don't know that I want to comment on all that. I mean, the guy is coming to UL to play for the Cajuns. He's going to enroll early. He's going to participate in bowl practice here with us in a couple of weeks. You know, and if you watch the guy, he's a big physical back. I think he's a good kid from a good family, and we're excited about him.
Coach Errol Rogers, being in the backyard here and knowing that he has the versatility as being a quarterback, you obviously recruit him as a wide receiver, but what does he bring to this team specifically?
I think Errol's a winner, you know, and I think he's a little bit of a gym rat. You know, this is a guy who has grown up in the game. You know, I think you know, he's a multiple sport athlete, again, who's a guy that's a good competitor. I think he's got great character. You know, you just spend time with his family. You know, the guy's mom, dad, he's got 5 sisters. You know, just watch the guy compete. You know, I think that's what we see. You know, I think he's getting overlooked a little bit. You know, we saw him at the LSU camp, dominated the LSU camp, you know, and the guy's 5'11", 185, and very, very capable. So I'm excited about him dedicating 100% of his time to playing receiver. I think he'll make a jump there. I think he's steady, consistent, mature, stable, guy that could contribute early, those types of things. Great ball skills. You know, great family, guy that you want on your team. You know, he's going to be a great representative in all areas.
Who else do you anticipate enrolling earlier?
Dabari Hawkins will be here, and then Christian Sabatini at some point. He won't be right away, but, you know, kind of like Jay Ave did last year. At some point he'll be here. So we got 3 guys coming in early.
Last couple questions, please.
The cornerback position, that, you know, getting that length and then the wide receiver
Sure.
position, was that the 2 main emphasis of this?
Yeah, I think length in the secondary was big. You know, the guys we signed last year didn't have as much length. They were more quick, speed, instinctive, great competitors, tough. You know, you think about Eric Guerra, Mir McDaniel, Bobby Holmes, then you throw in Jaron Wilson, you know. So you don't like to have a lot of guys that are the same, if that makes sense. The secondary and receivers are like a basketball team. You know, you want a combination of traits and skills, different lengths, sizes. And this group here, I think this is going to prove to be a really good group in those 2 areas. You know, I think receiver, there's an opportunity, you know, to impact our team. I think some of these guys will have a tremendous opportunity in front of them. And then in the secondary, a lot of these guys are developmental players. Doesn't have necessarily a tremendous secondary background, but project to the secondary, and then, you know, we'll see what happens.
How difficult is it, or how worried are, like, you got guys who played high school quarterback and now they're playing a totally different position?
Sure.
It seems like there's a lot of that. Is that just normal in today's, because you're recruiting athletes?
Yeah.
Or is there any concerns with that transition?
Well, I think you see, I mean, just think like a high school coach. You know, who do you put at quarterback? You know, you put a guy that you trust. You know, and nowadays with the spread concepts, you know, you're putting your best athlete back there a lot. There's a lot of design quarterback runs. Certainly what Trey did, the system that he played in, he might as well have been a wildcat quarterback every play. Primary ball carrier. You know, a guy that has to run your communication, runs the entire operation. So you're getting one of the better, more mature, trustworthy, dependable, accountable guys. Caleb Anderson's the same way, right? You know, I think he's got 37 guys on his team, right? So let's get that guy the ball. You know, a lot of these guys play the entire game. You know, they play both ways. You know, so it's not a singular event. It's more of a body of work. You know, you've seen them in lots of different exposures, whether that's camp, spring practice. Peter LeBlanc was a wingback. You know, I mean, you're evaluating traits. You know, you've got to develop. College football is a developmental game, and I think that's one of the things I'm excited about is we're getting better and better at our process of developing some of these guys. So these guys will be, you know, I'm looking for measurements, movements, intangibles, you know, and then we'll develop that position specific stuff once they arrive.
My last one, how much does the fact that you didn't sign an actual quarterback speak to how much you liked what you saw from
Sure.
Powell and Fields? And then
Yeah.
also, of this group that's in, how many actually faxed it in?
No faxes, man.
No faxes.
Those days are
Okay,
over.
right up.
Yeah, those days are over. You know, I think quarterback is a position you're always evaluating. You know, you're never going to pass up a good player when you can add a good player. You know, you can't have enough of them, right? I mean, National Football League is the elite level, the highest level of football, and you can't. There's just not enough to go around. So, I think we've got 5 on scholarship. You know, and we're excited about Levi and the progress that he's made, and all those others. You know, in the competition that they're going to be a part of going forward. So, you know, we'll never be done at that position relative to value what we have and then what's available. You know, so certainly we kind of viewed Braden as, you know, our quarterback for this class. He just blue shirted and then came on in. But certainly, you know, you're never going to pass up a great one if you can get one.